Starting the butt.
I read the news today, a two-bit expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just go to plan. They're framed and fixed and rigged, and you know they're all just spam. So buckle down, look right in. It crawls its way under your skin. Just got by the things they spout, and it won't make you shout. Give me that good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Let's just listen to the whole song. We can do that. Welcome into the Grounds, 21.6 The Net. Of course, the Grounds, the most electrifying, interesting,
And unique.
show that 21.6 The Net has. This is the show where, hey, Scott, Giles, and I, we just sit here and talk like two buddies having coffee and say, come on, bring it on.
Yeah.
Let's just talk. Everybody come in. Now, here's the nice thing is you can be part of this show. We are posting a link right now, right in the comment sections on social media that you can copy, put right into your URL or whatever the address line is.
Is that
up
the
there.
line? The line on top.
The line on top of the thing. And come on in. Good old Uncle Pete will share that with you this morning right there on screen. There he is. So listen, come on in, be part of the show, and let's chat. Now, this show, of course, brought to you through the support of our good friends over at Cannabis CBD Shop. You can check them out at www.cannabiscbdshop.com, 815-687-2608, where you can get all your CBD needs met right there. And if you're not a believer in what it does, research it. Stop into the Cannabis CBD Shop right across from the library here in McHenry. They'll educate you. You want to get your homeostasis back to level.
Right.
Cool.
Get back to that Zen that we were
Yeah.
kind of just talking about
Yeah.
a little bit earlier, get yourself back
That's it.
re-regulated. So
That's it. And
Yeah.
of course, it is a Good Friday. That's what it says. So that's where we're going with.
yeah,
It's
it
a
is Good Friday, right? I was asking you about that one.
Yeah.
Why is it Good Friday? Because today's the day that Jesus died, right?
That's
I mean,
it.
if you're religious,
Yeah.
today's the day that Jesus died, not, the day that he rose. You would
Right.
think Good Friday would be the day that he rose, but Easter
Yeah.
Sunday is the day that he rose. So
Yeah.
hopefully he's in his Zen
Yeah.
when that
right.
happens, right?
Right. So,
So-
yeah, so it's good. So how you been? You running around, leading life last week, which is good.
Yeah.
And busy as can be. But how's life, brother? Good.
It's not bad. You know what I mean? It's just like everything else, everyone else's life. I've got my good days, my bad days, and
it.
always going through things. People are always going through things, and
Yep.
so I got a couple things in life right now, a couple hiccups going on, but we're working
yeah.
through them, which is good. Everyone does. Most people don't talk about them,
Right.
and that's
Right.
where I love you, because we can chat about it because we're on so close to the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Some days it's unreal. It's kind of scary.
So yeah, what we were talking about in the green room was friendships or
Right.
relationships, maybe.
Relationships, friendships. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And why they are what they are and how they work. Jeff, hey brother, how are you, man? Good to see you. Happy Good Friday, y'all. Yeah, life's good, Jeff. Jeff and I used to hang out in Wonder Lake. He used to be a neighbor.
Okay.
Love that guy, his family. Jen, say hi to Jen, give her a hug. He's got some what are those? They're like red bloodhounds. I mean, they're cool looking dogs.
Yeah.
They're hound dogs.
Hound dogs.
Hound
Do some
dogs.
hunting. Do some hunting.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the interesting thing is, do you got a lot of friends? I'm gonna get a cup of coffee.
Well, it
You got a
depends
lot
on
of
what you
friends?
consider friends. I got a lot of acquaintances. I guess people you could call friends, but not close friends, right? I mean, in life, I think most people, if they're lucky enough, could count friends on one hand. Good friends on one hand.
Yeah.
And usually, it's not even using the entire hand.
Right.
If you're lucky enough to be able to count two or three good friends. I mean, like real friends, like no matter what you're going through, you can call on them and they're there no matter what, even though you might not talk to them in, months or even, a year, that they're there for you. Right. And
So are they a good friend if you don't talk to them in a year?
well,
I'm just saying.
yes and no. I mean, yeah. I'm like, I've got a couple good friends that just, life has gotten in the way, so to speak. We've been so busy and things tick by so quickly. But if I've got a real issue, I know I could call them up and ask for help, and they'd be there for me. But yeah, I mean, you would think that if you're not talking to somebody quite often, that they wouldn't be a good friend. But what is the criteria of a good friend?
Right, that's what I'm asking.
Right. And I think it's different for everybody. Someone to lean on. And if you're in need and they know who you are, they'll be there for you regardless. I mean, because everybody's life takes a little bit different path. Even though we're all similar, we're all taking a different path, and how we deal with things is different. And if we need somebody, we were talking earlier about, people being in your life for, you said seasons.
Yeah,
right?
A season, a reason, a lifetime.
Right.
Yeah, it all depends, right?
Right. And it all depends. And for me, we were talking about that a little bit. And it's weird to have someone come into your life and they mean something, help you, and then they disappear. And it's always like, wait, did I do something wrong? Or, why did that happen?
Yeah, but you but with you, I think friendships, run a little different. And here's why I say that. Your family's still pretty tight. You're all kind of local, right?
Yeah, we're all here. Yep.
Right. And so friendships, are different for you, right? Because your family's so close and your family's tight. You and your pops work on cars together.
Right.
You guys are tight. Your daughter, your granddaughter, your son, all within spitting distance, right?
Yep.
And you all do stuff, Sunday night dinners and things like that, right?
We try, yeah.
So it's so you'll take a look at like my family. I'm 4.5 hours from my folks.
Right.
4.5 hours from Alice's folks. I got a son who lives out in Norfolk, Virginia. Right. I've got a daughter who, lives down in Wheaton. So within spitting distance, but
right.
That's important to you. So when you think of friends and somebody who's there for you, speaking of friends, let's just keep them in the green room.
Yeah. Good morning, Coach.
Right. So
there's Coach.
I see how it is. No, that's it.
What are you at? Johnny Carson's set there? What is the
curtain behind him.
Here's Coach.
Gatorade.
So
an alligator on welfare we see.
Hey, good morning, Lisa. How are you?
Good morning.
So the interesting thing is, to you, a close friend, as you said, hey, life happens and goes away, but that would never happen with your family.
No, I do think, I realize more and more that in a good way, that we are different. I talk to a lot of people, I almost get flabbergasted going, well, what do you mean you don't talk to your kids or see your kids on at least every other week basis? Or, I talk to my kids, my daughter who doesn't live with us, but I talk to her a couple times a week. I see my granddaughter a couple times a week, which is not common. But for me, it's like, I don't see living life any other way.
Yeah.
That's my family. This is who I am.
Coach is the same way. His kid, he's got a son down in Texas, right? Sean's down there, but you even got grandkids living with you.
Our granddaughter, she moved in upstairs after she graduated from high school. So,
and that's a beautiful thing that you're there for her, right? And she, for whatever, she's there. She needed, let's just say, I don't know why, but she needed a place to stay, and you're there. Family is everything, right? There's, the only thing in this world is family. And for me, it's weird because when I hear people saying, like they hate their brother, they hate their sister, they don't talk to their family, it's kind of like, I get dumbfounded. I guess I understand it when they kind of explain things, but at the same token, at the end of the day, you're still family, and you should be there to help them, right? Regardless of what they're going through, because life is about learning every day. And who better to teach you or to help you or even just to listen to you than family, right? And so family is somebody you don't choose. Friends are family that you choose, right? So we are, well, I mean, my friends become my family. When you become my friend, you become my family.
You chose me?
Well, I can choose not to have you in my life. I can't choose I can't say that my daughter, she'll always be my daughter. I can choose not to have her in my life, right? But she'll always be my daughter. She'll always be my family, right? As a friend, I choose for you to be in my life and to be my family.
There's a lot of family who choose, you're out of my life.
Right. Which I hear and I see it. It's some days it makes me sad, right?
Yeah.
At least in my family, we look out for everyone. You
got brothers and sisters?
I have brothers.
How close are you to them?
With my oldest brother, not very close.
Okay.
I want to be, but that's just a choice that's happened over time.
He's still mad because you broke his model airplane.
Probably more than that. We can't get into that today, but there are a few things I'm sure that he's not super happy with. But I would love to be closer with my oldest brother. But and I reach out, and it just doesn't work. And unfortunately, COVID has even caused more issues. So, but I think if I really, really, really needed, I shouldn't say I think, I know if I really, really, really needed something that I could, reach out to him and.
So I like what Lisa says here. Lisa says, depends on definition of family. If you only consider family DNA, then many would feel alone or remain in toxic. For me, family is who is there, good or bad, highs and lows. Yeah, right. I mean, family and good friends are, a friend is the guy who, will drive the getaway car. Family is the guy who's sitting in jail with you. Right. So it's interesting. So like my family, my brothers and I, we're I've got two brothers that are in Iowa. I've got one brother in Colorado. I'm out here in Illinois. We'll see each other maybe twice a year if we're lucky. Right. Depending on travels and things like that. However, if we're together, it's family. It's beautiful. It's like we've never.
I was gonna say you never parted, right?
Yeah.
You could pick right up where you left off.
And growing up, my direct family was much like yours. So Sunday afternoons were, after church was go to grandma's house with all the cousins, and you had Sunday dinner and hung out for most of the day together as family. You'd vacation up at the cottage or whatever, with family and cousins and all that. And me and my cousins are still, pretty close. And on the other side of things, you take a look at my family now with my kids, and Spence lives out in Norfolk. We talk to him. I try to talk to him once every 2 weeks or so, just, hey, what's going on? What's in your life? When was the last time I saw him? Over a year ago, but that's kind of how I've raised my kids, because that's the way I was with my family. Once I got out the nest, I'm on my own. My brothers will all go to Rush concerts together.
Greatest band ever.
They do a lot. They do a lot of things together. I've never been to a concert. Those type of, I'll go watch a baseball game or something. But those type of things, don't interest me. So do I think I've missed out on things with my brothers? No, not necessarily, right? Because I would have just been there to be there. It's not a bonding moment necessarily. So with friends, as it comes to friends, I'm the same way. Got a lot of acquaintances, right? Got a lot of acquaintances, but I can probably name 7 people that if my back was against the wall and Alice wasn't around, and I needed somebody there whenever. I probably got about 7 of those people that I could.
So you're
would be there.
Untypical would that be the word I'm trying to think of? Not typical.
Atypical.
Right? Atypical.
Atypical. Well, I mean, it had to have 7 people that you could call on and rely on. That's a wonderful thing. Most
Yeah.
people are lucky if they have one in this, and especially in this world today where people are just getting colder
Yeah.
and colder and colder, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that you've got 7 makes you a very blessed person. And
Kent,
you're very, very fortunate to have that. Coach, quit changing your background. You're freaking me out
That's
over
right.
there. Now he's in jail.
That's right.
who are the other 6, Kent?
They know who they are.
But so friends are really family that you
Yeah.
choose, right? And you can call on them when needed.
Well,
Same with family, hopefully.
Well, I don't even think you choose them. So you take Coach and I, for example. Coach is one of my dearest friends, right? And we've known each other for 6 years, 7 years, right? But much like yours in my life, and you're one of my dearest friends too. You're one of those guys, with Rancho Run, it was always, who are your 6, right? Who are the 6 guys who are going to carry your casket?
Right.
Those are the 6 people you can count on. But with Coach and I, so many similarities in life. Check. Yep. Check. Been there, done that, done that. Oh, and as a mentor and a friend, Coach goes, yeah, step over this way. Because I already stepped in
right.
that.
Don't step on that pile. Let me tell you. Right. And that's what friends and family are for, right? To help direct you.
But
if you need it. You need it.
But I didn't choose him. I don't think you choose a friend. I think it's like,
well, he came into your life and you chose to keep him in your life.
If you were to ask me, I would say that our life scrolls, as we were writing our stories, we were up hanging out writing our stories. Holy cow, is that Lisa your dad put a big one in it. I was like, all right. We were all up writing our life scrolls, and we're like, hey man, let's meet at this point in our life or whatever. Because it wasn't like, well, let's feel each other out and see if I like you. It was like, you and I vibe, man. We're good. And our stories match up. And for whatever reason, this is really, really good. So It's like that family. It's like that. What Lisa says, my family, most, not all, consider my so-called gift crazy. They were belittling and abusive. Should I remain and allow because they carry my DNA? If DNA was the only definition, then many toxic cycles would never be broken. And Lisa, I love your gift, but that's not why I think you're crazy.
There's other reasons.
I love her.
But I see, I totally see what she's saying, right? I mean,
you can read that one.
Oh, okay. It says, so this comes from my dad. It says, good morning. In regards to your topic today, I personally subscribe to the following definition and had parents who instilled this philosophy into our lives. I feel family goes beyond bloodlines, last names, or obligations. To me, the word family includes all the people in our lives who commit to love and support us unconditionally. It is not a passive birthright, but a choice, a discipline of kindness that helps us thrive both as individuals and as a society. Fernando Barcelona Presidente, I'm assuming.
Sure, we'll go with that.
But
I think that's a margarita.
That's a margarita.
So, and that's, and one of the reasons we're probably talking about this, number one is, it's a big holiday, Easter. It's a big family holiday, right?
As a general rule,
right? Hey, get together, we'll have some ham, some colored eggs,
brunch or something, right? Which I can't wait to actually do with my grandbaby.
Yeah, right.
Try to find some colored eggs.
Yeah, yeah. And so Eddie says, "Is Coach and Joe?" Yeah. Yes, he is.
So he needs a friend to bail him out.
Right.
But yeah, this is a family weekend.
I need a brother to be here with me.
Yeah. Well, way to point out the Mexican guy to go into jail with you.
Yeah, different show.
Tune into the bridge.
Yeah, bridging civil tensions for the Mexican guy.
So I just, to me, we were talking about there's been a lot of people in my life that I've held on to relationships because I wanted to. Maybe I thought I could change them or help them or something, right? Did I enjoy their company? Absolutely, 100%. Did they suck off me, because I was, oh, you're too nice, you're naive, whatever. But wanting to be a people pleaser, wanting to help as many people as I can. That's why we have this radio station here, DDOE. How do you cut that tie off? How do you at what point do you go, you know what, it's not my issue. It's, and so I've had a lot of friends, quote unquote, that have come and gone. Now, again, those people that you've held on to for a long time, if you were in jail, if you call them at 2 a.m, would they be there? They probably wouldn't answer their phone.
Right.
Right. But it doesn't mean that that relationship or that time together was ill spent. Maybe I learned a lot. Maybe they were in my life for me to learn something. It just took a long time to learn it.
Right.
But depending on who you are, always wanting to help, always wanting to see the best in people. Sometimes it's, sometimes it's toxic to just sit there in that cesspool and do it. But in the back of your mind or the back of your heart, you're like, but they need me. They need my help. I can give them something, and that's as human as people. That's a tough thing to do. And then, you have your close family or friends who are like, man, that person's taking advantage of you.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
day,
You see that
all day.
Yeah.
And you're like, no. I'm helping them. They're in a rough spot,
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you said family or friends, and they're in a rough spot. When with that being said, when do you reach out? When do you go to help somebody? You know, I mean, that's a question too, because we're all going through stuff, right? And we might know that someone's going through something, but is it your should you intervene? When do you intervene? Right? I mean, is it your right to intervene? Is it your duty to intervene? Right. That's a hard one, especially for people, like you and me, and being, at least you're an ex-people pleaser. I'm a people pleaser. I mean, when do you jump in and try to help them? Maybe they don't want help, and that's where I falter a lot of times, because I want to get in. I want to get in there and help, and I want to get in and help fix things, and it'll cause a little bit more static than
right. Lisa says everybody's breaking point is different. Every relationship will have a different breaking point. You'll have enough when the spirit knows the sessions are over. Sometimes, but I mean, there's people who die because they stick around. They get murdered because they stick in a toxic relationship.
Right.
But there's always that. There's all with every relationship out there, with every friendship. Why have we been programmed to think, what, the relationship is over, it's run its course, right? But why is it, Coach? You can answer this. You're a life coach. You help people with this. It must have been something I did.
Right.
It's always easy to blame ourselves because we're stuck in conflict all the time. And now, Scott, I'm sure you don't fall prey to this, but a lot of people would be thrown in jail for the way they talk to themselves if the world could hear it. Right? Our self-talk becomes so negative. So when something happens and somebody leaves, right away we start looking at ourselves. Oh, it must be my fault. I've done something wrong. And I fall prey to this as well as anybody else. Why won't they return my calls? Did I do something? Did I say something? What you just talked about a few minutes ago, I fell prey to that a number of years ago, where I wanted two people to get over their grievances with each other, and I overstepped my bounds. I put my nose in where it didn't belong, and it darn near got broken. Sometimes we just need to sit on the outside and listen and figure out what's going on. And just recently, someone who was had said they were going to help me do something, and they disappeared. And I'm like, that's okay. I can see you now. You can't, keep me in the green room forever. And I thought, did I do something wrong? And you stop and you go back and you start thinking, there's nothing I did.
Yeah.
But it's easy to fall prey to. And that's where, that's, for me, journaling is how I get myself out of that. Get down and, keep a basic record of what's going on in my life. And
sure.
Well, I think you hit a really good point there, Coach. And I appreciate the comment, but what you said to me. You don't think that I fall prey to this, but I think I'm actually probably.
That was sarcasm, Scott.
Okay. Because we all have that internal conflict in our brains. We are our own worst critic, right? I mean, and if we can limit that self-talk, or at least understand that self-talk, and really kind of weed through it, and not beat ourselves up, that's key. So, but sometimes we can't do that for ourselves, and that's where friends and family come in, or can help us with that. I mean, I know how many times I've had conversations, even with Kent. I think that's what's kind of brought us, together. Something in this world has brought us together, because we do think very similarly. And that negative self-talk that we all have happens to everybody, but a lot of people don't realize that, and they think they're the only ones.
Coach, you got it.
Coach,
Scott, we're the only ones who can get us out of it. Yes, we can choose someone to talk to, but when it comes to negative self-talk, we're the only ones who can choose what we allow into our mind. With all the garbage that's going on in the world, and this garbage gets thrown back in our subconscious, and it's swirling around in there, it continues to feed us. We're the only ones who can get us out of it. Now, part of that can be choosing someone to talk to get you out of it. Part of it can be having a hobby, or a release, or a break. Kent goes on his man camp every year to kind of think. Meditation, getting down. There's so many things that you can do, but when it comes to getting yourself out of that funk, you're the only one who can do it, because it has to be a choice. And that choice may be getting someone to talk to, and I think that's important. But at the end of the day, no one can get you out of it.
Right. No, it is a choice, but I'll tell you, at least from my personal experience, when I'm talking to somebody and I realize that I'm not the only one, because even though I know that I'm not the only one that's going through things and has issues or might think this way, when I talk to somebody like you, Coach, or to talk to Kent or whoever, my kids, a friend, and go, wow, you're feeling the same way, or you've gone through that, and they might say, hey, this is how I dealt with it. And I might go, that's not really in my head how I would deal with it, but it also gets me a little more introspective, if you will, to go, okay, they're going through it too. This is what worked for them. I'm not completely off the wall. I'm the one that's going to have to make the decision of what works best for me, but I've got input from other people that can help me kind of work through it, if you will. I mean, that's why we have, people call them therapists or counselors. I like to call them life coaches, right? Somebody just to sit there and talk to that's not going to be judgmental to you, right? And maybe just keep asking you questions, just like I always say, question everything. They keep throwing questions at you. Well, why this? Why that?
Just not to stir your anxiety, but everybody's judgmental, even your therapist. All right, most desire to help beyond our own well-being or feelings is our job, is a reflection of something in us that needs seen. What's that say? That needs seen, not them. They are vessels to show us or deplete us,
right,
until we see. A lot
basically waking you up, right?
Yeah. Shaking his gore. Hey, Shayna, good morning. Greatest thing you can do for people you love is to take responsibility for your own happiness. Amen.
Right, oh my God. Yes.
And thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Rounds with Shayna. She just put an end to the show. It's drop the mic. Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. People grow, and sometimes not in the right direction. Do you think it's more of a societal pressure or an evolution thing? It's a good question.
That is a really good question. But your comment, Shayna, is absolutely spot on, huge. And that's a hard one, right? Because especially, I mean, I totally resonate with that one, because the best thing that I can do for my family or my friends is to take care of me.
Yeah, I keep growing around my waist. I think that is the wrong direction.
But is that good for you, right? But yeah, taking care of yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. It's like the old adage, when you're in a plane, you got to put your mask on before you put someone else's mask on, right? You can't breathe, they can't breathe.
Can I totally change the subject?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's official.
Oh, look at that.
What is that?
Yeah, the who's who in America. Timothy Coach Papa Stewart. Look at that. How fun is that? Congratulations. That's a big honor.
There we go.
Who's who in America.
It is. That came in a big plaque yesterday, and the press release will be out later this week. So that was a real honor, and I couldn't have that if it wasn't for the people in my life.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I got a text from somebody who said, "See you in the morning, brother," and I gave a thumbs up, and this guy said, "I said brother, not papa." So I don't know what that means.
True.
That was this morning. Yeah, that was me. That was me.
Lisa says
So I guess Scott's saying I'm not his brother. I don't know.
You're my papa.
Agreed, Shayna, and it's a struggle. Being the example is a million times more beneficial. It's kind of children will learn from what you do, not what you say.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. Have you
That's
had that
100%.
moment where you feel bad for not feeling bad for choosing you? That's new for me.
Well,
Yeah.
and going back to what
At
you
that
just said,
moment.
how many times have we, I'm sure we've all experienced this. The first time our
So
child says a swear word, and you're like, "Where'd
so
you learn that?"
so I just I'm almost done. I'm on chapter 8 of a book, Think Like a Monk. Train your mind for peace and purpose every day. Right. Um. So I a lot of that to what Shayna just asked for not feeling bad, and choosing you is, again, we don't train our mind for peace and purpose every day. Anxiety is stories that we've chosen to accept that we haven't faced, so we're way out over our skis. Fear is something that is real, but it's usually stories that we don't know, right? So, oh my gosh, you know what, why did they stop calling me? Why did we stop hanging out? What did I do? Oh my gosh, no, there's nothing, you know. At the end of the hour, this show ends. Done.
Right. It has a finite
done.
time. Right.
Right. You had one of your closest friends, I don't know, 5-6 months ago. I think it was right after, right before Pete died, who passed away. Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
He's one of your closest buddies
Yeah.
ever.
Yep.
And massive heart attack. Right. Just
Yep.
pow,
Yep.
the Widowmaker. Boom.
Yep.
Right. And so sometimes you have to understand, a game is done, life is done, a friendship's done, your sandwich is done.
Right.
Right?
And it's knowing that point when it's knowing when to accept that
Yeah.
that is over. And for me, that's a tough one, because I want to keep everybody in my life, just because I don't know, I like to collect things, right? I mean, and I mean that
Sure,
funny, but
sure. No,
not
yep,
funny. You know what I mean?
yeah.
For me, life is about experiencing it with other people, enjoying it, helping other people to enjoy life, and of course, my family, but friends as well, and letting them see my perspective, right? And it's tough when those end,
Yeah.
right? Because you do think, what did I do? What didn't I do?
Right.
What could I have done?
Mhm.
You know, and so we end up becoming really hard on ourselves, and overthinking, right? And that's what creates the anxieties that a lot of people have about that. And I mean,
Yeah.
I catch myself in that dang anxiety, overthinking loop nonstop.
Yep.
And you have to, and everybody does it. It's just how you pull your way out of it, and how long you allow
Yeah.
your body to be in that spot. And that's a tough one. And a lot of people, I don't think, even realize that they do that. Right. I mean, I think a lot of
That's
people.
a great segue, guys, because my time on the show today is done. I've got some responsibilities I have to go take care of. Enjoy your Good Friday. It's always hard to say. Do you say Happy Good Friday? Do you say? But enjoy your Good Friday, and let's get back to remembering.
Let me tell you something. Every day you start with 21.6 and net. Every Friday is a good Friday.
That's right.
Amen.
Thanks for tuning in today, Coach. Have
That's
a great day.
All right.
Have a great weekend. So Lisa jumps in
Coach
and says,
Papa, of course,
Yeah.
the newest Who's Who.
the newest Who's Who.
So he's a part of the Owl Society now.
Woo. Remember that? Woo.
All right. What does Lisa say?
Well, at least she got a couple here, but let's go up there real quick. Many times it's like tiny awakenings. Then Shayna says, anxiety is stories you choose to accept. That's gold, not t-shirt gold, but gold.
Cool. Oh,
Interesting.
right.
Then Lisa says, agreed. To say you must be peacefully and purposeful in every second is adding to the anxiety and not good enough feeling. To allow yourself the grace to be human and the value to look at why you feel how you do, to me, is purpose and growth.
Right. But here's what I want to tell you. Hey, come on in, Mary.
Come on in. Mary Shep
here's
just joined us in the studio.
Here's what I want to tell you. Now let's stay there. To say you must be peaceful and purposeful in every second is adding to the anxiety and not a good enough feeling. So, Lisa, here's what I will say to you for that. The book says, train your mind for peace and purpose every day. It doesn't say every second. So just you putting that every second, that's you adding pressure to your own life. It's not every second. It says add peace and purpose every day. It doesn't say every second of the day. So understand, Jill, let's unpack that a little bit and go, interesting. That means I need to be in total Zen, sitting Indian style with singing bowls around me, or whatever your peace and purpose may be. And that's interesting that you would say that.
Yeah, and that's yeah. I mean, because it would be nice if you were peaceful and purposeful every second of the day. Unfortunately, that's just not a reality.
You can't.
You can't. I mean,
I think the only ones that are going to come close to that are, a monk sitting
well,
somewhere.
That's what Ken's talking
Right.
about. He's
Well,
learning how to
that's their
live
full
like
life.
a
The
monk.
book.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
The book is called Think Like a
Yeah.
Monk. Right. Train your mind for peace and purpose every day. Not every second.
Right.
Just every day.
Right.
Just think how great your life could be if you, at the end of the day, go, now is a pretty peaceful day, and I did live into my purpose.
So,
you can reflect back on the
Yeah.
day and accept it and be, you're using the word at peace with it, accept it and be, or even better yet, to be proud of what that day brought, regardless
Right.
of what it is, and for a lot of people, they struggle with, to have that,
Yeah.
to even appreciate what they've had that day,
Right.
even if they didn't do anything monumental.
So Shannon says, so not must be, but must try. No, I think Yoda said it best. There, you either do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah. My son's
Right.
big on that one. You don't try, you just do,
You do.
or you don't. Because
it
if
was
you
my
don't,
own words, and I can't even remember what it was.
sounds like me. I can't remember the
know.
words.
I
That's
can't
why I
remember
stand
what-
here a lot and
I
stare at
wrote it.
Kent's going, Kent, keep talking. My brain is slowly calculating.
So,
Right.
and of course, my thing is all messed up. So when I created my website, and I think it's down here, I had, you got to fill out the About Me section and
Yeah.
whatever. And I actually framed this one spot because even though it was words that I wrote and they came from my thoughts, I was still surprised by it. So
Surprised by your own thoughts,
right,
and
I
your
was.
own
So
words.
I literally framed it and I put it on my wall. But I
That's
so
a
I
Zen
put
moment.
that
that's a
pushing.
That's a Zen moment, because you actually started
Right.
writing, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, it's it's an aha moment,
Right.
right? Like, wow, that really is how I feel. But I never thought that's how I really feel. But I never thought that
Right.
way until I actually penned it onto paper. That's why journaling is a good
Of course,
thing.
Mary Shep has joined the table
Hi.
this morning.
I couldn't figure out StreamYard, so I just crashed the studio.
She's the host of Living Low Sodium. And just follow her on Facebook. We've got Fresh Farm Living. We've got Living Low Sodium, My Low Sodium.
McHenry Recipe Share. There's all sorts of stuff.
Man, she's and of course now pushing out right over her right shoulder there, Restoration One, as a brand ambassador,
Yep.
business builder
For Lake County, yeah.
Yeah, Lake County.
And an insurance agent for Brightway Insurance.
That's
So
right.
we can keep at it. This isn't
Yeah.
the Mary Show. Anyway,
Right.
so what I had wrote is all of this has taught me that I am the only one who can control how things or people influence me. By giving 100% of my effort, in turn, I get 100% back. The days that are bad are the days that I decided 90% will do. So when I wake up in the morning, and if I give 100% every single day, I don't want to do the dishes. I don't want to make a breakfast. I don't want to do nobody does. Nobody wants to do all those things. But if I start my day at 90%, by the time I'm at noon, I'm at 50% and my whole day's shot.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I start at 100%, regardless of whether or not I want to get up and pick something up that fell on the floor or do whatever, when I start at that 100%, as the day whittles away at you, you finish the day closer to 100% or at 100% than if you started your day at 90 or 80 or 10. So when you wake up, I've started to make a conscious effort when you wake up and things are bad to specifically focus on the things that I have to be thankful for.
For the gratitude.
And someone said this to me yesterday, as a matter of fact, because they're new to my life path. And they said, holy cow, I didn't know that. You have so much. I said, no, I really don't. I have transverse myelitis and I have liver disease. But I have a ton of things to be thankful for. So if I give weight to those two things,
That's right.
Are those things you have or those issues you have?
No, those are
those aren't things. Those are issues.
Right. Well, and they're
They
issues
things.
I can't get rid of.
They think.
Yeah, you can't get rid of them. You
No.
can't sell them.
Yeah,
You can't
yeah.
barter them.
That's
No. Yeah. So it and I told him, I said, it's all about your perspective. You give weight to the stones and they'll drown you. So you choose which stones you give weight to.
Right. Right. And it is important. I like the fact that you say waking up with, 100%, trying to be, wake up to that positive, happy-go-lucky. Some days that's really freaking tough.
Right. You wake up,
You
you
know, it's
stub your
that-
toe, the thing spills, your coffee cup breaks. There's some days that are just
Right. And it's getting
Sure.
into that routine every day of, you're the only one that can do it, right?
Mhm.
You're the only one that can make you happy. You're the only one that can make your life
right.
what you want it to be.
Oh, well, this makes me happy.
Mhm.
And
That could be a different show. Then.
Yeah, no,
right.
I was gonna say.
That the show is brought
Brought
to
to
you
you
by
by
Fantasy Fair.
Yeah.
But and that's
Um,
why you and that's one of the reasons you chose her and she chose you, right? I mean,
Yeah. Same
It's
with my
something
husband.
that
I was
makes
a
you
player.
happy.
She had no choice, man.
Yeah. She
I was,
had
I
no
was a
choice.
player.
I was a player.
I was relentless.
Lisa says, that has not been my experience in life. I see and hear and work with people who beat themselves up every negative
Mhm.
thought or for being angry, etc. I am not outside the box. I spoke of at all times. I am not outside the box. I spoke of at all times either. I don't.
I don't think she's saying she's not perfect either. She's
Right.
she's in the
Oh.
she's in the same game as everybody
Yeah,
else.
No, but here's what I'm saying. We were talking about this again.
We're all subject to it.
We don't train our mind. We allow our mind to happen. Our brain is the organ that sits inside of our skull. Our mind is not our brain,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right? So what I've challenged myself to do is fill my mind with new information, different information, right? When we talk about peace and we talk about purpose, 98% of Americans, anyway, I can only speak of Americans, don't know what that is. They don't know what peace, they don't know what their purpose is. I get up, it's time to make the donuts.
Mhm.
I go
Right.
in and I do it because, well, the American dream, as we've talked about in the past, I have to own a house. I have to have a Tahoe. I've got to have my Ford F-150 jacked up three
Right.
times, with
Right.
my Trump
They're
flag
going
on
through
it.
the motions every day.
Right. Here's the deal is what is your purpose in life? Have you ever just stopped and thought, what's your purpose? Yeah, I get mad at myself and I struggle with thoughts. Everybody does. That's because you don't know how to train your mind. You don't know how to,
Mhm.
as Coach says, speak to yourself. Everybody's got negative thoughts. It happens.
It's
And
every day, all
and
day
you have
long.
negative thoughts because that's all, unless you're only listening to 21.6 and that's all that gets thrown in there. Negative,
Right.
negative, blood.
That's
blood,
what's right.
this,
That's
that,
what's
right.
and that's what you hear every day too. It's
Yeah.
what you hear and see every day. It's how you choose to. It's how you choose to sort through it,
Oh.
right? And how you just choose to answer yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, those and they call them ants or automatic negative thoughts.
Mhm.
It's the way our brain is. It's the way our brains are wired,
Yeah.
right? I
It's
mean,
a fight or flight thing.
yeah.
It's the same with anything else. I mean, it literally is fight or flight. You're conditioned instinctually to look for the bad.
Yeah.
You're all
well, that's
if-
for a survival. That's
right.
a survival
You're
thing.
constantly. So now that we don't have to look over our shoulder for something that's going to eat us in our sleep, you still have that hardwired in your brain to go, okay, this is great, but where is it? Where is it? I just got to make sure I'm going to check.
Yeah.
So
Right,
some
well,
people,
now it's what did you do
Right,
right, or
right.
what or do I have am I going to have enough money to live? or
Some
to-
people
you
are
know?
better at suppressing or seeing the good side of those things, and some people let that instinctual part of their brain eat away and eat away. I mean, trust me, my husband and I are polar opposites. I'm the optimist, always like there's a silver lining. I mean, everybody always says, all right, Mary's going to come up with silver lining. You're right. I am. I'm going to find it. What are we talking about again?
Right.
And I'll find it. And my husband is the one who will find every single black spot, and then you have to show him, or
We'll
he'll find it.
never
He'll
make it.
But he also recognizes, he can still see the good in things, but he sees the bad first.
Right.
Always.
You're gonna shoot an
Right.
eye out.
Right.
Right. Yeah. You're
This is
shoot
gonna
your eye
suck,
out,
and then
kid.
afterwards it's like, oh, that wasn't so bad. That was pretty
Right.
fun. We should do it again. Like, oh, come on.
Right. And a lot of us do that.
Yeah.
You know, really. I mean, I know I look at some things, and I'll look at all the bads that's potentially going to happen, and then I rewrap myself around the goods and why I'm doing it. But it's like an auto default for everybody is the crap.
So years ago, we talked about brain waves.
Mm-hmm.
And those are real things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as we talk about friends, as we talk about family, things like that, you're connecting brain waves, right? We think alike, we
You're
feel
on the same level,
right? It's like, I've known a lot of douchebags out there. I've probably been a douchebag. I always said that when I was a kid, you either loved me or hated me. I was cool or an asshole, either one of the two.
right?
It's just the way it was.
That's the way I am now. You either love me or hate me, right?
And so as we get people in our lives that we connect on brain waves. People call it energy, whatever. But if our thoughts are the same way, or I find it fascinating because one of my little brain waves connected with yours, and I think, wow, that's fascinating. I can look at Mary and go, I marvel at her, because I'm like, man, would I react the same way with the same issues? Maybe that's why that brainwave is like, all right, we're cool together, right? And at the same time, I'm able and humble enough to go, well, I can learn a lot from her. Well, I don't have that issue, but if I do some things that she says to do, or says this is how I do it, well,
I think that's the key, though, is so many people, you're blind to how much others can influence you. We always, so many people, even the bad and introvert people, there's still, at least I found, there's a lot that you're always pushing yourself, or wanting people to see your way or your perspective. So when you take a step back and try, especially from those that are your friends and family that you have chosen to keep in your life, to view things from their perspective and let them influence you in that way, where you say, I don't know if I could have a radio station, or I could do this, or I could do that, or I could do what you do and run multiple businesses. And holy cow, like I'd be losing my mind.
Oh, I already did.
But
so if you find it, please let me know
when you
where it
step
went.
back and say, okay,
That's why I keep doing so many things, because I'm trying to find my mind. What brings me that zen?
But if you open yourself, I always say to listen to hear instead of respond, because when someone starts talking, you're already thinking of a response.
Listen
in
to
your
learn
hand,
instead of respond.
and you shut it down and you make your mind go blank and actually listen to what people say. You can learn so much from your friends in that aspect. And say, okay, if you surround yourself with people, even the negative people, when you go, holy cow, like I see your point now, and you're never like you're in a place that's not going to change, and I'm already going this way. Maybe it is time to leave that toxicness, regardless of how hard it might be. And on the same side of the nice and influential people, you can learn so much more if you actually open yourself up to actually be influenced by your friends that are on a good path.
Shane says, if you have intention, you give energy and grow and manifest with energy. Waking in the morning with an intention, if positive, usually pans out that way. More mindfulness, I suppose. Yeah, I agree with that. Do you wake up and your feet hit the floor and say, good Lord, it's morning, or good morning, Lord?
Right.
Depends on the day, and I'd prefer the latter, right? I mean, but it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, the first, for me, I mean, the first thing I wake up in the morning, it's everything. I'm already going. I'm already thinking what I got to do, what I need to do, who I need to help.
Yeah.
And so I should be looking in the mirror and going, I need to help me. Yeah. And then I'll help everybody else, because I know when I'm doing me, taking care of me and doing the best for me,
I tell my kids that
the family's the better off.
I tell my kids that all the time. If you woke up in the morning and you're the last person on earth, could you live with yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You have to be able to live with yourself before you can live with anybody else.
Right.
That's what I always say.
I said that to one of my staff members when I still was running the store. And I said,
quote.
So at the end of the day, and you're ready to go to bed, and you go and you look in the mirror, are you okay with the decisions you made today?
Right.
because the only person, so if you're upset or you're worried that I'm going to be upset with you, or you're worried that somebody else, or you're worried we're going to lose business, or you're worried, whatever it is you're worried about, did you make the best possible decisions that you could for that moment?
That day,
Whether
all
it
these
ended up being the
situations.
wrong decision, the wrong path, everybody in the world knows, and there's going to be more announcements coming, that like I just made huge upheavals in my life. I needed to make a wrong turn to find the right path. So sometimes you can't.
There's your T-shirt.
Right.
Had to make
So,
a
well, you
wrong turn
can't,
to
you
find the
know.
right path.
So I said at the end of the day,
Trademark 216 to net.
you beat yourself up and you beat yourself up and you beat yourself up and you second guess. And 10 minutes after a conversation, you're like, son of a bitch, I should have said this, or I should have said it this way. I wonder if did he understand what I meant?
Right.
Did I say it wrong? I don't think he got it. When in reality,
So you've been listening to my conversations with people then, huh? Because that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. Going,
Right.
did you really understand? That's not really what I
Right.
meant.
So at the end of the day, if you can look in the mirror and you can say, you know what, I am proud of the decisions I made because I did the best that I could. I didn't lie. I didn't cheat. I didn't betray anybody. I did the best I could. Then you know what? Let all that garbage go out of your mind and keep moving forward.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's a tough one.
It is. It's not easy.
Coherence has magnifying ability. Being with like-minded or like vibes can almost make time stand still. When you connect, 3 hours can go by what seems like an hour
or a minute. Yeah.
That's why I can't have one-on-ones.
Right.
Because it's supposed to be an hour, and then 4 hours later, it's like, dude.
Mary actually lives. Wait, let me try this again. Lisa says, Mary actually lives what she speaks, regardless of agreement or disagreement with her. She is an influence because she lives her words.
It's
and
capitalized,
that
so
proves her
I know.
integrity
That's when you're yelling.
and character. That's why people actually learn from not cliches.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Lisa. That was very kind of you.
I don't know why she's yelling at you.
Yeah, the all caps. It's emphasis. It's not always yelling.
Oh,
the
okay.
emphasis.
Do not fear failure,
Emphasis.
but rather fear not trying. Well, yeah.
Well, that's another Yoda comment.
Everybody fears failure, right? But
no, I would disagree.
To
everybody
different
does-
extents, to varying degrees of
Right.
fear. Some
lot of
fear it
people
so
don't
much
do
they never
things-
want to try anything.
A lot of people don't want to try something because they don't want to fail, so they never try it, so they'll never know. So failure is how you learn.
Wrong. Most people fear success.
This is also true.
That is true. That
Both
is true.
Both are true statements.
And here's why. That people don't fear failure because you're taught failure
Right.
throughout your childhood, right? Hey, great job, Scotty. You got a D-.
Right.
Hey, look at Mary. A++, star, smile face.
Yeah, I didn't get any of those.
Right? So
Me neither.
you're bred to understand you will lose throughout your childhood, and that you fail all the time. The problem is during those precious years, what happens is you think you are taught that failure is bad. So you don't feel failure. You don't want to feel bad.
Right.
Period. You know how to fail. You fail all the time.
Right.
And
Daily.
And so it's the I've let you down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez, poor little Mary.
Right.
You know what? She's great. She just doesn't really try real hard. She talks a little too much in school, but we're gonna hold her back, right?
Did we go to 8th grade together?
Right. So
I mean, seriously.
you're not afraid to
It's like
fail.
PTSD flashbacks.
You're afraid
Am I
to feel
twitching?
bad. You're afraid that you're gonna. Look at that cute little Scotty over there. Has trouble coloring in the lines.
You know.
So is it fear actual failure or fear of maybe what other people are also going to
You're
think?
afraid to feel bad.
Right. You don't want to go after that success because if you don't make the success, instead of thinking that the failure is an opportunity to learn and succeed later, you don't even want to try. So it's not necessarily the fear of failure. It's that why bother? I mean, it's this weird conundrum that doesn't really have a way to explain it, because it's not a fear of necessarily either one of them. You get stuck in this almost limbo purgatory of things are okay right now, so not going to make any waves. I'm not going to make anything better. Nothing's getting worse, so we're just going to leave it where it's at.
Yeah.
That's where for me.
Enjoy the convo.
Enjoyed the convo. Have a great weekend.
Yeah. So for me though, I fear not doing it.
I'm the same.
I get mad at myself if I don't want to
try.
try something or do something, right? And I get mad at other people too when they're not doing it. Like, and my kids, and I know it pisses them off. And I apologize if you guys are listening, but I feel like I need to push, right? I fear if I don't do that, and then I'm sitting on my deathbed, or I'm an old dude, and why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that? I could have done that. I had the opportunity. Like, if I don't do something today, let's just say go hiking. I don't go hiking today, and I had the opportunity to do it. Tomorrow I fall and I break my leg and I can never hike again.
Right.
I'm going to have those regrets. We're all going to have regrets, but you have the choice to do a lot of these things. So I fear not doing them because at some point I'm not going to be able to do them. I don't think I fear success. It depends on what you consider success, but I don't fear success. I fear.
Let me ask you a question.
All right.
You look at your kids' baby pictures, your son, your daughter.
Yeah.
Where does your mind go? God, time went too fast. I didn't spend enough time with them.
Yep.
Right. I
wish I would have.
I look at my kids' baby pictures, and I thank them for making me the person I am.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my mind goes.
That's a beautiful way to look at it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wouldn't be the dude I am today if my kids hadn't made me the way that I am.
So we are
Interesting,
inherently
right?
That's absolutely a beautiful thing, because, and I would imagine I'm probably more of the typical, right? Where I look at going, I could have done more, right? Even though my kids are wonderful kids,
Yeah, your kids
they're
are great
super
kids.
smart. They're going through
Successful,
life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're having the same issues that everyone has, but I never thought about those things growing up. You know what I mean? Because I just kept pushing forward. I just kept pushing. I tried to ignore the stuff and just go through, keep moving. But now I'm seeing it happening to my kids. And so when I look at their baby pictures, and it's kind of going, boy, I wish I would have spent more time talking to Carolyn about this, about the brain and how it works, and the automatic negative thoughts. I didn't know about it until I was much later in life. So how could I have taught my kids that?
So
right?
Now, you make an extremely good point, because I unfortunately had to damn near die to come to that epiphany. And it really is hard, but it is exactly what you're saying, and again, I literally just had this conversation yesterday with someone. We're inherently selfish.
Yeah.
As a race, as a people, as a species.
Huge.
You put 3 kids in a swimming pool and 3 moms on the edge of the swimming pool. One mom walks away to go to the bathroom. The kids are roughhousing. All 3 kids go underwater. Who's getting saved?
My kid.
Right. You're going to dive in.
Yeah.
So everybody used to pick on my sister because she always, every time they go to the pool, they're all drinking, all the kids are having fun. She would, every time she could possibly do it, invite me.
Yeah.
And her friends are like, I don't understand why you need a babysitter when we're all here. And finally, one day, one of her friends said something. I told him, I said, so if all of the kids are drowning, you're going to dive in and push everybody away and dunk them to grab your child and coddle them and bring them up and make them better. And if she steps away because we're all drinking and having fun and it's a barbecue, she knows that I'm the one sitting there watching her kid. We're all inherently selfish. Someone dies, you weep because you miss them.
That's right.
Because you lost
Right.
something.
For all you know, it was the best thing. And I'm a faithful person that I believe something's more, but I'm not necessarily a God-fearing person.
Right.
So for all you know, they literally are up in heaven drinking single malt Spalen scotch, eating steak with their idol, waiting for you to come up and sit next to them, living the best they could ever live. You don't know that. So you're the selfish one, assuming your place. And it's the same with everything else. We selfishly, in a good way, want to be a better parent. We want to be a better friend. And the conversation that tied into this that I had with someone yesterday is the way that you can have the absolute best results and still be in control is to not sell anything. We all sell something in life.
Yep.
Whether it's you're actually selling a product because you own a business, or I'm selling myself as your friend, as your parent, as your spouse, you're always selling something. So if you stop selling something and say, what can I do for you? Do you need someone to talk to? Do you need me to hold you up? Do you need me to be here? Do you need me to step away and just be there? What can I do for you? So as a parent, when that same rule applies. So when you say I did the best, because I know that you knew I was there. So if you wanted to talk, if you wanted to go hiking, if you wanted to, you knew I would cancel this and be there.
Yep. So
you did the best.
So the interesting thing is, and I say that to a lot of people, hey, what can I do to make your day better today?
Right.
And people stop and go, what? Well, what can I do to make your day better? Actually, just by asking that made it a lot better.
Right.
Right. And because you're not selling anything.
Right.
And if they were like, hey, I need you to do this. All right, let's do it.
And eventually,
Right.
believe me, all of it comes around, especially in business.
Yeah.
And that's
Just
why
in
I was
life.
having that conversation, because I was telling you, stop selling. Go literally sit down. And this is a business conversation that they're going to have. So you don't sell anything. You go in there, you take all the pressure off yourself. You go in with the expectation of, I don't want anything from you.
Yeah.
I don't want business from you. I don't want referrals from you. I don't want a paycheck from you. I want to know what you can do for me. And once that relationship and you keep giving and giving, ultimately they're going to give back. Yeah. Even if they don't, something else in your life or path will.
That's what I challenge Joe. Your friends, the person at McDonald's drive-through, whatever, whoever you deal with this weekend, just stop and ask, hey, what can I do to make your day better?
Right.
And watch.
That is a good thing, because we always talk about that daily dose of encouragement, and just trying to make someone, and that's where we come off, as people pleasers, because we want other people to be happy, because if they're happy, they're going to make someone else happy, and hopefully in turn that just continually, keeps adding and growing in the world. And we don't have that in the world today, because everyone is selfish. It's about me, it's about you. It's not about you. It's about me. It should be about us. Right.
I asked the lady in the Starbucks line that once a couple months ago, and she stopped and stared at me with my coffee like I was weird. And then the receipt popped up, like perfect timing, and she handed me the receipt. She says, you can do the survey. I said, awesome. What's your name? And I wrote her name down, did the survey. And she just stared at me as I left the drive-thru like, what? That was the weirdest. And I know that in her mind, even though I didn't get to experience the aftermath, it changed her day. It changed her path.
Right. And that's, if you can help, change somebody's day just with a simple, kind gesture, just how can I help you? How can I make your day better? I mean, people actually, and unfortunately, a lot of people these days will read into it. Like, what are you trying to get out of it?
It's going up on the board, folks. Our time is done, but sometimes you got to take the wrong turn to find the right path.
Yes.
That's the quote of the day.
That is the quote of the day.
That's
we should
really
actually
good.
probably expound upon that next week.
I mean, everybody thought I was having a nervous breakdown. I uprooted my life to go into insurance, and then I quit that, and then I'm still in insurance, and then in Restoration One announced that I'm the business rep for them, and then I cut off all my hair. So my sister literally texted me and said, "Is everything okay?" Like, because it sounds like a midlife crisis.
No, it's life.
It's life.
And I was like, "No, it's fabulous. I just have to
Everything's
go around and take the right path."
Hey, come back in about a half hour, bridging civil tension. A lot of good stuff going on in the world today that brings tension. And then come back at, 1 for the Neighborhood Pulse and 3 for In the Know with Steph and Joe. A lot of good stuff going on here at 21.6 Net this Good Friday. Remember, folks, that this episode of The Grounds have been brought to you by Cannabis CBD Shop right here in good old McHenry. Check them out at www.cannabiscbdshop.com, 815-687-2608. For all of us, if we don't see you on the next show, come hang out with us sometime, Mary. Thanks for stopping
Everybody
in.
Thanks for stopping in with the Grounds today. We love you. Have a great weekend. Go out there and make somebody feel good today.
That's it.
Make someone
love
smile.
you all. Be good. Thanks for tuning in.